It's the fourth day of the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour presented by Pioneer. I'm Kara Hart with this update from Page, North Dakota. I'm joined by Paige Elsner with Pioneer for this update. Paige, thanks for joining us for this Pioneer update. Give us a kind of a quick look and tell us what's happening here this morning. I know we've got folks behind us. You've had a big field day today.
Yeah, this is our annual fall plot tour. Really happy with the turnout. We got a great morning, great weather. We just had a great conversation revolved around the Enlist system, new products, and some exciting new crop protection products from Corteva as well.
So behind us, as I'm sure you all can see, we've got a plot of soybeans here, and the beans really aren't looking too bad considering where we started. I know much of the growing season, it's been just a very interesting year for growers in North Dakota in general.
Yeah, it seemed like we just finished delivering soybeans, and here we are at wheat harvest, but no, the beans look great considering what we went through. Actually, that's kind of unique this year. We had some nice August rains that helped fill the top pods, which we haven't seen that in a few years, so that'll be a nice little bonus for us, some 3-bean pods right at the top. I'm standing next to 06A85. It's a new Enlist soybean, and we're really excited about it because it brings awesome IDC tolerance with great yield. So, you know, you want a defensive bean, but you don't want to give up yield. This is your bean. That'll probably be our main Enlist bean along with the new 09. T93.
So Paige, let's take a closer look at these beans. Tell me, are you seeing a lot of 3 to 4 bean pods out there in the fields, or are you finding that the growing season was a little tougher just depending on where you're at?
You know, the new genetics in the A series beans, the beans are bigger. We're seeing a lot more 3 bean pods than 2 bean pods. So I think there's a lot of potential in the soybean crop this year. I know there's a lot of potential in the corn crop. We've had a lot of fun doing estimates in the corn this fall. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised there. Beans are always so hard to tell, but so far we like what we see.
So I know there's a few fields in North Dakota that are starting to drop leaves when we look at the beans. I'm not seeing that too much around here. How far do you think that stage is really for a lot of growers around here?
You know, we are a ways out, but the 10-day forecast looks great. I know we're filling top and bottom pods right now. As far as corn goes, we're about half milk line there. We always get asked the corn maturity question every year around this time, and right now, if you're conservative, looking at a 75-degree average, we hit black layer around that September 15th, 16th time frame, but the temps look much higher than 75 in the 10 days, so we're pretty happy. Hopefully we get the drying weather after black layer. We'll need it.
Well, Paige, is there anything else we should know about this Enlist variety that we're standing next to? Anything we haven't covered about it before we have a guest join us in a moment?
You know, it's just a really great stature plant, good agronomics all around, and if you're looking at jumping into the Enlist camp from Extend, this would be the first bean I would look at. It's great, perfect maturity for our area too.
Well, Paige, thanks for joining us here. We'll bring you back in at the end, but we have a guest that's going to come join us, Jason Muse, the grower that is really you've taken on really the responsibility of putting together this plot, this beautiful plot that we see behind us. What was the growing season like, and keeping up with all the crops here near Page?
This year has been a bit of an adventure. You know, we started about a month later than we really would have liked to last spring, and fortunately we got some heat right at the right time. You know, we heard all spring that summer was going to turn hot and dry, and we used that motivation to keep pushing planting, and it actually did turn out that way. And I think for the late start and all the obstacles we had at the beginning of the year, things actually look fairly good. Granted, we're 2 to 3 weeks behind where we'd like to be, but I think the yield potential is there on pretty much every crop.
So Paige was talking about the Enlist soybean variety, and I know you use the products there. What can you tell us about the benefit of having that in the lineup?
So I think we're probably on our 5th year of using the Enlist E3 program, and what I love the most about it is the flexibility of it. We generally start our program using Corteva's Kyber product. Actually, a season ago, all we sprayed for post-emerge was volunteer corn because the Kyber held everything back. This year we did spray a little bit more of Enlist and Liberty and some Roundup, but the flexibility of the E3 program means that I can tailor my program to each specific field. I don't have a blanket program I use. Some fields this year just got straight Roundup because the Kyber was working so well. Other fields that had a little bit more weed pressure, we use the Enlist 1 and Liberty mix. And from what we've seen here, that'll take out any weed.
I haven't seen any weeds poking out, so your weed management plan must have done really well. You can't say the same about some of the other fields that we've been seeing. We've seen a lot of water hemp pop up higher than some of the crops here.
Yeah, the Kyber works really well as a pre on water hemp, and then the combination of Liberty and Enlist, it seems to take out any water hemp that escapes the pre. I think I'll put our fields up against just about anybody's this year for weed control. That they look really good.
How far away out are some of your other soybeans too?
I would say we're probably maybe a month away from harvest yet. I'd like to see these beans start to drop some leaves and turn a little yellow September 1st, but we'll get there. Hopefully we get a nice warm September and everything can finish strong and fill all those top pods that Paige was talking about.
But it is still harvest, and I know you do have other crops too, and I just don't want to get away from you without briefly mentioning that you're in the middle of small grain harvest. How's that coming along?
The yields are actually really nice around here. I've heard a lot of 80 bushel wheat. You know, some guys have said they've had spots on the field up over 100 bushels an acre. We've only done one field so far, but it was on some hilly ground, and that still ran 70. So we're very happy with that, considering we only have had about 7 inches of rain here this year.
Well, I hope the rest of harvest goes well for you and the rest of the growing season as well. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the Enlist products as we wrap this up here?
I guess all I'll say about it is I'm a big believer in it. I think it's a great fit here on our farm, and I think a lot of people would see the same success we are.
Jason, thanks for joining us, and we're going to have Paige Elsner join us again too. Thank you both for being part of this pioneer crop update here that we've got with the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour. Is there anything else you want growers to know that may be tuning into this broadcast as they gear up for harvest?
I think we just want to let them know we're here if they need anything. My sister, Debbie Midstock, and I co-own the business, and she's got a crop consulting business. She's been in these fields all summer, and we're happy to take cyst samples for you. Some of these beans have amazingly high yield, but they're non-cyst, so you're a little limited there. If you think you have cyst, let's just rule out that question and know for sure, and we're happy to do that test. Growers are also welcome to use our tender to calibrate combines, and if there's anything you need from us this fall, don't hesitate to ask.
Well, thanks again for joining us, and thank you for joining us. We are on the first stop of the 4th day of the Red River Farm Network Crop Tour here in Page, North Dakota. I'm here with Paige Elsner with Page Seed and Agronomy here, and follow along for more updates today. Have a wonderful, wonderful morning.